Hello, everyone, and welcome. Oh my God, there's somebody audio. Sorry, everyone. Let's get the jitters out. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Pilot Dump. My name is Michel Lichand. This is the weekly show where every week somebody from the PAC community presents an all-new comedy pilot, 30 minutes or less, and gets it read by a wonderful cast of actors, which you can see around me. My name is Michel, and this week I am the lucky one. I wrote a pilot called Bill and Anne about William Shakespeare and his wife, Anne Hathaway. Real name, that's not a lie. But let me introduce you all to this wonderful, wonderful cast. Starting off with directly to my, I pointed to my right, but it's mirrored. To my left, we have Roxana Jara as Judith, Hamnet, and the assistant. Thank you, Roxana.
Hello.
Then we have Whitney Allen as Anne Hathaway.
Yes, I am the Anne Hathaway, the one that you've seen on our modern day TV. So, welcome.
If you Google Anne Hathaway, there are people who think it's. You'll see. You think it
You'll be surprised.
We have John Sissel, playing Christopher Marlowe.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor just to be nominated. A lot of other great candidates in the category, and I'm thrilled to be here.
We have Ronnie Pascali playing Bill Shakespeare.
Hello, good day, everybody.
And last but certainly not least, Jonathan McDonald as Ben Jonson, Susanna Shakespeare, and Wood.
Hello.
Literally, the act of wood. That's what you're going to be playing. So let us get started by premiering tonight's reading of Bill and Anne. Cold open. Exterior, streets of Stanford upon Avon, day. Chiron, Stratford upon Avon, England, 1592. A haphazard wooden stage in the middle of a dirt street creaks under the weight of Bill Shakespeare, late 20s. A beer belly strains his doublet. A distinct baldness spreads over his massive forehead, and there's mud on his mustache.
I burn, I pine, I perish.
Bill's acting to a crowd of two hobos, Vernon and Wood. But here's the problem. He sucks. Bad. And he doesn't know it. John?
Hey, isn't that the guy who wrote all those Henry plays last year?
No, it's the guy who wrote the Richards. Look at his hump.
Bill covers his back, clearly worrying over his looks.
I just hunch a lot over my desk. It's completely natural.
Hey, no free viewings.
Anne Hathaway, late 30s, steps in, a ferocious ice queen who doesn't take no for an answer. She blocks the hobo's views.
This is the Bill Shakespeare, the man who insists on playing Richard III, and was, according to many critics, acceptable at best.
I told you it was the Richards.
Anne, what are you doing?
Anne promptly spins around and glares at Bill. He shivers.
I'm trying to sell you as a great person, you moron. What else? And don't you think we're watching this fight for free, Susanna?
She points at the 3-year-old kids watching them. Hamnet, yes, that's his name, 10, a boy with a deer in the headlights look. Judith, 12, a bubbly young girl sharing Anne's hairstyle. And Susanna, 15, the tallest, wise beyond her years.
Go on now, sis. Make us proud. Hell yes, Susanna! Stop those poor people from watching our parents fight the third time this week.
Susanna sighs and drags herself over to the stage. She promptly blocks the hobo's views as lazily as possible.
I told you to stop doing this with your hands when you act.
It's my signature move. Every famous actor has one.
Bill milks an invisible cow and pulls his hands down.
But you're not famous yet. You have to give the people what they want.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sounds like someone has a case of the forgot they're a leech and not an artist plague.
The hobos begin throwing things at Bill and Anne.
Boo! Get back to the bad acting. If I wanted to see couples fighting, I'd look into their open windows.
A horseshoe hits Bill in the crotch and a crumpled up paper hits Anne in the head. She picks the paper up.
Oh, come on, Wood. I heard there's a witch burning happening downtown.
Make sure you give us a good review. Remember, if it's a tragedy on stage, it's got to be Shakespeare.
Anne unfolds the paper and reads it quickly, her eyes widening. Sketch on the paper is an ad. Christopher Marlowe calls upon England's actors to appear in his open casting call in London, where he shall pick a new actor and a playwright. A big smile spreads over Anne's face, a twinkle in her eye, an opportunity demanding to be seized, everything and more.
Mom, I think Dad's really hurt.
You know, Susanna, this is why people don't like hanging out with you.
End of cold open. Act 1. Exterior, John Shakespeare's house, day. Using Susanna as a crutch, Bill hobbles up to a small house in the back of a forge. She drops him off, sighing.
Think you can make it from here?
Oh, Susanna, that was not the first time I was ever hit in the crotch as a way to stop me from acting.
And you think that's a good thing?
Of course, all good acting provides a visceral reaction.
Bill gives her a thumbs up. Susanna watches him go.
You always ask Grandpa for money. Ever think he might say no one day?
Fathers don't ruin dreams, Susanna. Now stop daydreaming and go home.
Susanna walks away, mumbling angrily to herself. Bill looks at the entrance of the house with hope-filled eyes. Smash cut to Shakespeare residence, living room. Bill puts on a fox smile for the camera.
He said he wasn't going to give me any more money, Anne.
We see that Bill's standing in the middle of his living room, which looks very cheap, save for a pristine writing desk. Anne and the kids stand around him, shocked.
Your father cut us off?
Even worse. He said he would force me to be a glover. Can you imagine being forced to do something?
I was forced to find a husband.
Wow. Way to make it all about you.
Bill wipes his tearful face on Anne's dress. She groans.
Ugh, stop crying, Bill, and read this.
She hands him the ad for Christopher Marlowe's open casting call. He reads it, his eyes widening.
Christopher Marlowe is running an open casting call? But you said my acting was the worst thing to hit England since the plague.
Yes, and I stand by that. That's why you're going to audition to be a writer, not an actor. Here.
Anne opens up a closet and pulls out piles upon piles of papers, all of them tied up together in red tape.
Give him one of your plays, and he's going to hire you on the spot. That's how good they are.
Susanna gives Judith the stink eye as Anne browses through the closet filled with Bill's plays. She hands him one.
How about I wish I had the head of a donkey? Preferably after you find a better title for that one.
And you nincompoop, these are the plays I scrapped because I couldn't find a part for me in them.
Bill throws the play away. It hits Hamnet right in the face. Susanna glares at Bill, but he doesn't care about her.
I want to be an actor, not a writer. Writers aren't famous. I mean, who even wrote the Bible?
John, Paul, Luke.
Don't even have last names. Point proven. Hook, line, and stinker.
Thinker.
I tried, Susanna, but apparently Anne actually knows how to swim.
Or maybe you're just too scared to write something for Marlowe.
Bill gasps, points at Anne, opens his mouth, closes his mouth, and then he runs into the bedroom, slamming the door behind him.
Is that true, Mother?
Yes, he did try to drown me twice. Accidentally, he says. The only accident here is Hamlet. Hamnet.
I'm included? Yeah!
No! About the money?
I have some cash I've been saving up just in case Bill's poor acting made the Royals outlaw theater.
What about the church? They'd be willing to help us, certainly.
The church? What are we, lepers?
Susanna is just trying to push her stupid Bible on us again.
Is it my fault that I want this family's eternal soul to go to heaven and not hell?
Yes. As far as I'm aware, the only place my eternal soul is going to is the tavern. Am I right, guys?
Anne holds out her hand. Judith and Hamnet high-five her.
I have no idea what that means, but I love being included.
Interior, Shakespeare residence, bedroom. Their bedroom is just as sparse and cheap as their living room. A queen-size bed takes up most of the space, along with a smaller second bed, far away from the queen bed. Bill sits on the queen bed, staring at an empty piece of paper in his lap. He focuses on it.
Come on, Bill. You can totally write something great and prove your stupid wife wrong.
He puts pen to paper, writes down once upon a, and smiles.
Aha, here comes a masterpiece.
He then writes fart right next to it. He crumples the paper, throws it aside, and starts sobbing. Anne walks in and immediately snaps her fingers.
Hey, no crying on the good bed.
Anne sits beside him, using her shirt to dry his tears.
What if I'm just not good like my father says? He said I was a loser, that no one would want to see me act, that I shouldn't marry you.
Anne lets out a sharp guffaw. Bill glares at her with a pout.
Sorry, it's just... You should have listened to him on that last one.
Well, you distracted me. You distracted me by being the first human outside of my family to talk to me, and also by promising to have sex with me. Oh my god, I am a loser.
Before Bill starts crying again, Anne puts her hands on his back, caressing him. He stops crying and looks scared.
This is weird. You're never this nice. What's going on?
Bill, do you remember my vows?
Quote, I'm almost not regretting this, unquote.
Exactly, because hearing your vows, your written word, it made me remember why I married you.
Anne leans in, lowering her voice, making Bill lean in too.
It made me remember that one way or another, you're going to make me the most famous woman in England.
Anne suddenly grabs and throttles Bill's neck, silencing him.
I only have about 15 years left in this pitiful world, and I'm not going to spend them as a housewife.
Bill nods, clearly losing air fast.
I'm going to spend them telling the Queen I'm busy and asking her to reschedule. And because my little investment in the finance in you will finally pay off.
That's very detailed fantasy.
It's the one thing that kept me going all these years, which is why we're going to move to London and you're going to audition for Marlowe as a writer. Got it?
I love it when you order me around.
She lets go of his neck and slaps him in the cheek gently.
Exactly. Now go pack up and get ready, because if you fail this, I'll choke you to death in the sleep and say Susanna did it.
Anne winks and blows him a kiss before heading out. Exterior London the next day. London, the big city, Elizabethan style. Somehow it looks grander and more imposing than it does in modern times. Except there's a drunkard on every corner and the streets are covered in shit. So actually just like modern times. The Shakespeare family ride through it in a rented cart. Bill and Anne admire the city, controlling the horses.
Look at those shoes, Bill. They all have shoes here.
And not a single leper.
We see the three kids are in the back, sharing space with the luggage. Judith and Hamnet are enjoying it. Susanna is not. Her glare burns a hole in her parents' back. Exterior, Mermaid Tavern, day. The cart is parked outside of a large tavern with a statue of a mermaid above the sign. This is the Mermaid Tavern, the cultural hotspot of London. Bill and Anne disembark. He prepares himself, checks his breath, it stinks, and checks his teeth, they're yellow. Anne looks at the fancy crowd around them. They all look rich and insanely hot. She looks at Bill and his very big dad bod.
Before you go, Hamnet, here.
She snaps her fingers and Hamlet comes running in, holding a pile of plays. She takes them and gives them to Bill.
Now, go wait in the cart. We're going horse hunting after this.
Hamnet salutes her and runs off.
Judith, Susanna, get your crossbow. We're hunting houses.
Anne sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose.
Something's wrong with that boy.
I know, right? Hamnet. What a stupid name. We really should have kept brainstorming on that one.
Anne shrugs it off and points at the plays in Bill's hand.
Just give these to Marlowe and tell them you're a writer. No acting. No milking the cow. Got it?
Bill pats her hands and smiles back.
Come on, don't you trust me?
I wouldn't trust you to change a burnt-out candle, but it's not like I have a lot of options here.
Anne pats his cheek. Bill boops her on the nose. She raises her fist, feigning a punch, and he runs into the tavern. As soon as Anne turns around, she comes face to face with Ben Johnson, late 30s, who looks like 3 rats in a man-shaped suit. He smiles, placing his hands together behind his back.
Hello, I'm Ben Johnson.
Hello, don't care.
Anne turns to leave, but Johnson steps in front of her.
Ah, it's so nice to meet you, Don't Care. Isn't that a French name? I've been there once.
Anne rolls her eyes and turns to walk away, but Johnson is already standing in front of her again.
I can't help but notice you're alone. Are you seeking a companion?
Good Lord, no. Especially not you.
I have a lot of experience.
Surprised you've even met women.
Oh, charming too. Is your husband a match to your intellect? I can be.
I'm just gonna rip it off. I'm not having sex with you, okay? Bye.
Anne walks away and Johnson watches her go, smiling.
Don't worry. You'll soon know why they call me Ben Hard Johnson.
A nearby woman scoffs at Johnson.
It's about how I'm hard to get rid of. It's not an innuendo, I swear.
Interior, Mermaid Tavern, day. The inside of the tavern has been rearranged, with most of the tables moved to the side, giving space to a small stage. Bill walks up to the stage, staring at Christopher Marlowe, late 30s. He's beautiful and uses intelligence. Think James Bond meets Bertolt Brecht. A board assistant sits beside him.
William Shakespeare of Stratford.
Yes, hello, I am a writer.
Bill stands center stage. He sees all the eyes staring at him and only him. A smile takes over his face.
But what I want to do is act.
Bill rips the play into pieces proudly. He puts on his acting face, which unfortunately looks like he's taking a dump.
I burn, I pine, I perish.
The assistants cringe. Marlowe watches uninterested. He glimpses at Bill's belly and raises an eyebrow.
You sure you want to be an actor? Don't you have any other skills?
Bill thinks for a moment and milks the invisible cow.
Okay, please leave. We'll have our messenger find your messenger.
Bill's face is overtaken by a desperate look of failure.
But I came from Stratford to start a brand new life in London.
That's cute. Next.
We stay with Bill as he realizes he's blown his last shot. End of Act 1. Act 2, Mermaid Tavern, night. The tavern stables have returned to the normal position and are now filled with patrons drowning themselves in ale. Amongst them, Marlowe makes a speech to a group of actors, which includes several fancy-looking men and Johnson.
Hello, my company, my merry men. Today, we welcome a new member into our crew. Here he is, the winner of the casting call, Ben Johnson.
A single person claps, but another person punches them in the face for doing that. Johnson waves at the company.
I'm so happy to be here. Let us all make wonderful, wonderful art.
He smiles. Everybody hates it. The crowd disperses, joining the party as Marlowe whispers to his assistant.
Why did we pick this guy again?
Everyone else was either a little too bad or a little too good. He was perfectly mediocre. We'll never upstate people.
Oh well, here's to my success.
Meanwhile, in a lonely seat in the corner, Bill stares at his sad reflection on a glass of ale. Anne sits beside him.
So, how did it go?
Bill sucks in his gut and grits his teeth. He turns to Anne, who takes one good look at him and gasps.
You acted?
She slaps him right in the face. Bill massages his cheek.
You abortive, rotting hog!
The urge to act took over me. In that moment, I could picture myself opening my theater. The fame, the glory, the applause.
Urges don't give you money or make you famous, you 3-inch fool.
Not with that attitude, they don't.
Anne almost strangles him right there and then, but the bartender lets out a loud, sharp whistle. He points at a sign saying, "No fighting unless you're drunk," and grabs the glass of ale and starts drinking vigorously.
Do you still have the plays?
Bill winces and hands her the tattered remains of the play.
I'm about to commit manslaughter.
Anne clutches her hands into a fist so hard her knuckle pops.
Wait, what if I just talk to Marlowe, ask for a second chance, explain myself, actor to actor?
Bill, whatever you do, do not do that. Right now, what we need to do is please Marlowe and make him accept you into his company.
Bill hears her, nodding. He stands up, puffs up his chest.
Thank you for the encouraging words. I do love you, Anne.
He walks into the party. Anne watches him go. She almost throws her ale glass at him until the bartender clears his throat and points at a no ale throwing sign. Anne grows to herself.
Marital problems?
She yelps when she sees Johnson sitting in Bill's seats.
Oh, great. You again.
My self-esteem is so low, I would never disrespect you like he does.
Good for you.
And now that I'm a member of Marlowe's company, I'm sure I could get you a discount at any tavern.
Johnson looks at the bartender, who shakes his head no, and picks up on the mention of Marlowe's company and leans in.
Did Marlowe find a writer?
Unfortunately, no, so I'll be filling in the position for now.
I thought you were an actor.
Actor, writer.
And winces. For some reason, that sounds disgusting.
Well then, if you do me a favor, I'll have a drink with you.
Drink and a kiss?
One drink.
Drink and a hug.
One drink, I don't stab you, and I give you my real name.
Deal.
They shake hands.
Anne Hathaway, married to Bill Shakespeare. Wish I could say it's a pleasure, but it's not.
And gives him the play pieces.
Give these to Marlowe. Tell them it's from Bill Shakespeare, and that he'd love to write for him. In exchange, I'll go out with you.
Johnson nods. He waits for Anne to leave and stares at the pieces, interested. He carefully pieces it back together. Once he has enough of the play, he reads it. His eyes widen as if he's reading the greatest thing in the entire world. His eyes look up and scan the room.
Oh, Bill. Poor Bill. You're good, but I can't have someone who will make me look bad in front of my soon-to-be wife, Anne Johnson.
The bartender grunts and points at a sign that says "No ruminating to yourself." Johnson frowns at him. Abandoned house, night. The three kids work their best to clean up an abandoned house where the walls, ceilings, and floors have holes. Anne knocks on the door. It falls forward. 100 rats crawl out from inside it. She takes one careful step inside.
I thought I told you three to clean this place up and make it look new.
I'm sorry if your young children weren't good enough at this adult task.
Finally, you're owning up to your mistakes, Susanna.
Susanna clenches her fist as Anne inspects the place.
I suppose it will work for when I need to drown my sorrows about this awful life God has given me, forced to depend on men like Johnson.
Have you considered prayer, Mother?
I'm not that desperate.
Prayer doesn't make a problem just disappear, Susanna. It's not magic.
An idea clicks behind Anne's eyes.
That's it. Hamnet, you're a genius.
I told you I was a genius, Judith. You said 2 + 2 = milk. Oh, yeah. Well, how am I a genius?
Why owe Johnson any favors? Once he does his part, I'll write him out of history, permanently. Now, who wants to help Mommy commit some subterfuge and sabotage?
The two cheer happily and they skip past Susanna.
You're leading them into a path of sin and despair, Mother.
That's the spirit, Susanna.
Susanna throws her hands up and follows them. Mermaid Tavern, night. Bill makes his way through the crowd, looking for Marlowe. He turns and sees Johnson standing right in front of him.
Hello, I'm Ben Johnson.
Why do you look like a rat?
I was dropped when I was a baby. Are you Shakespeare? The writer?
Actor.
Oh, like me. But I won the casting call and you didn't. What happened?
Johnson slowly moves Bill away from the rest of the group.
Marlowe doesn't like my acting.
What? I find that hard to believe considering your body type.
Johnson pokes at Bill's dad bod. He sucks it up, embarrassed.
Marlowe loves men who pack a few extra pounds. They bring him a lot of artistic pleasure.
The word pleasure makes Bill pay attention. And did say they had to please Marlowe, didn't she?
I think I just had an idea. Do you know where Marlowe is?
Johnson takes a moment and smiles. You can see him thinking, oh my god, this guy is so dumb.
I'll show you, friend. But first...
He reaches down and pulls out one button from Bill's doublet, letting his dad bod breathe. Bill gives him a thumbs up. London streets, night. Anne stands outside of Ye Old Poison Shop, accompanied by her 3 kids. She turns to them.
Stay outside. If anyone comes looking for me, get rid of them.
Do we really have to buy poison, Mother? Isn't that too crass? Why not bake him in a pie and feed him to his wife and kids?
A beat. Susanna stares at Judith, terrified.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Judith. How could you suggest something like that?
Susanna's right, dear. Baking people into pies is out of the current budget. But good idea.
Anne walks into the shop. Susanna glares at Judith, outraged.
Oh my god! What is it?
Judith, pray for forgiveness.
You should pray not to be such a...
Fine. Hamnet, let's go.
Susanna turns to Hamlet, who also makes a fart noise. She groans.
Oh, may God have mercy on you all.
I think he's busy with diarrhea.
Susanna walks away as the two kids continue making fart noises, laughing to themselves. Prostitute Alley night. The moonlight illuminates a surprisingly clean alley filled with sex workers of all shapes, sizes, and genders. A very ashamed Bill walks past them. He looks down, avoiding everyone else's stares until he hears a familiar voice.
I'm a playwright, so I've written you a script. Your character is Mutton Delivery Man, and I have no money with which to pay you.
He looks up and sees Marlowe chatting up a chubby prostitute.
Mr. Marlowe? Bill Shakespeare, sir.
Marlowe looks at Bill and is just confused to see him.
Cow Milking Man. Why are you here?
I just wanted to meet you, sir.
Bill holds out his hand and his dad bod pokes out from beneath his clothes. Marlowe sees it and gasps. He's into it.
Don't tell me, Bill. You're a man of the night.
Yes? Not just any man of the night. A man of the day as well. I'll perform anytime, any place.
So bold. Proceed.
Bill clears his throat and puts on an acting stance.
So saith Falstaff, war is honor. A word? What is in that word? Air.
Nothing. Marlowe looks disinterested. Bill breathes in again and pulls up his shirt, showing his gut.
Air!
Marlowe looks up. Bill slaps his own belly. Marlowe shivers. Bill tugs at the layers of fat on his belly and arms. He's really putting on a show. Marlowe's entranced.
A trim reckoning. Who hath it? He that died o Wednesday.
He slaps his thighs and thrusts his hips with every word.
And so ends my catechism.
The words hit Marlowe like bullets, and he stumbles back, almost falling flat in his ass. Bill ends his speech, and Marlowe lets out a long, moan-like gasp.
I think I need a pipe. Bill, your words were great, but your body...
Bill falls to his knees, dramatically pointing at Marlowe.
That let me perform tomorrow.
Perform?
Bill does not get what the air quotes mean. He does not get Marlowe's entire vibe, actually.
Yes, in front of the whole world.
Tomorrow it is. Make sure to wear very little clothing, my dear boy.
Ah, to facilitate my acting, right?
Yes! To facilitate.
Marlowe laughs. Bill awkwardly laughs as he walks away. Once he's gone, Marlowe turns to the chubby prostitute.
I think he understood what I meant. Okay, so how much for one of you fellas to go medieval on my butt?
Johnson residence. Later that night, Anne sits on one end of a small table, watching as Johnson sets down the candles and 2 goblets. She looks around his mostly empty living room. He puts down a bottle of wine and heads to the kitchen.
Why is this place so empty?
Anne pulls out the bottle of poison. She uncorks the wine and pours it in, glancing at the kitchen.
My wife moved out and took all the furniture. But I kept the house, so I guess in the end, I'm the winner.
Anne finishes pouring the poison into the wine bottle. Johnson walks back in, and Anne throws the poison on the table. He pours the wine into 2 goblets. They each take one.
A toast to our relationship.
Can't toast what doesn't exist. But before we do that, have you delivered the place to Marlowe?
Please, I don't discuss business while I'm sober. It's why I'm divorced, after all. To us.
Johnson brings the goblet up to his lips.
But the plays, Johnson.
He stops and smiles.
Oh, yes. See, I was going to deliver the place to Marlowe, but then something happened.
Don't tell me you picked today of all days to grow a consciousness.
Not at all. I simply informed Bill that he's Marlowe's favorite kind of man and suggested he use that to his favor. To seduce him?
You're, you're bluffing. For one, Bill's not smart enough to do that.
Oh, I know. That's why he thinks he's not seducing him. Oh, it'll be so sad when Marlowe realizes he's been made the fool and used by our Bill.
God, you really are stupid. Do you think Bill is dumb enough to accidentally seduce Marlowe?
She laughs, but she slowly goes silent as she realizes that yes, Bill is dumb enough to do just that. Johnson watches her
Are you realizing that I'm right?
and stands up and runs away. Johnson takes the wine and sniffs it. He looks under the table and pulls out the poison.
Would you look at that? She tried to poison me. Oh, that woman is so hot.
He smiles to himself and stares at his empty house.
I miss my furniture.
He sadly takes a swig of wine before spitting it all out.
Yeah, poisoned wine! Poisoned wine! Margaret, get the water! Oh, why did I divorce my wife?
End of Act 2. Act 3, abandoned house, night. Bill sits by a crooked desk under candlelight, drawing a picture of himself accepting an award for Marlowe.
Bill, you're such a good actor. I love your work. Your wife totally doesn't understand you.
There's a knock on the door. Bill stares at it, leans in,
Who is it?
and kicks the door down, runs in, and slaps Bill repeatedly.
Look, everyone. It's the genius who seduced Marlowe and ruined my plan.
Stop, stop.
She does stop, but not before slapping him one last time.
I'll have you know that ironic genius is not ironic. I am performing for him tomorrow.
Oh, really, Bill? Or are you performing with air quotes?
Huh, that's how he did it too.
Bill's smile morphs from pride to terrified realization,
Oh God, he meant sex, didn't he?
and holds out an invisible award.
And this award for the dumbest person ever goes to William Shakespeare.
Bill takes the invisible award, but Anne slaps him again.
God, how can you write and capture human emotions so well, and yet you don't understand air quotations?
I honestly thought Marlowe was just peeking over an invisible ledge.
Bill does his version of air quotes. It really looks like he's peeking over an invisible ledge. Anne slumps down to the floor. Bill sits down beside her.
Okay, sure. I don't work well with people, but this is your fault. You should have predicted I would ruin everything you've planned.
The two stare in the distance, their gazes vacant and distressed. Then they slowly turn and look into each other's eyes. For the first time, they are in sync.
I hate you.
I know.
Then why do I feel like tearing your clothes and just screwing you on the floor right now?
It's the eyebrows.
No, it's your words. Insult me, William.
Bill raises an eyebrow. He leans in with a seductive stare.
Well, you're a whore. A backstabbing, vicious, conniving, sexy as hell married whore.
Beat. The two embrace their hatred for each other once more, fueling their lust as they start making out on the floor. The next day, the light streams in through the holes in the roof of the house. Susanna, Judith, and Hamlet eat loaves of bread, watching their parents on the other side of the room. The two of them are sleeping in each other's embrace.
Look at that. Mom and Dad together. Not choking each other.
I never thought I would see it with my own eyes.
Bill and Anne slowly awake. They sit up, rub their eyes, and look at the sun outside, then at each other.
I's off to the tavern, isn't I?
And suffer through humiliation? Once Marlowe realizes you tricked him, he'll banish you from London.
Or he might like my performance. What if I read one of my plays, the one that doesn't have me in it?
Forget it. Too little, too late.
Bill stares at the disappointed Anne. Suddenly, he stands up, his face beset by inspiration. He points at Hamlet.
Write this down.
I don't know how to write.
But Bill ignores him. He turns to Anne and begins proclaiming a sonnet up the top of his head.
Alas, it's true. I've gone here and there and made myself look foolish. But by all above, I swear these mistakes gave my heart another youth. And worse essays proved you my true love.
Anne watches him go, shaken to the core, and a bit smitten. Bill gets on one knee and holds out a hand for her.
Now, I finished with everything, save our love which shall have no end. Then give me welcome, to thy pure and most loving breast.
Anne stares at him, dumbfounded.
When did you write that?
And you may be a lying and thieving snake of a woman, but you're right on one thing. When I try, I can be an amazing writer.
Anne smiles. Has he realized she was right all along?
I love you.
Which means I can be a great actor.
Anne frowns. Nope.
Come along, kids, to the tavern.
Bill marches out of the house, accompanied by his 3 kids. Anne stays behind, watching him go. She clenches her fists.
Not on my watch, you bastard.
Mermaid Tavern, day. The family walks up to the entrance of the Mermaid Tavern. Anne holds Bill back and puts a paper in his pocket.
Bill, before you go, don't you think you should take the kids and go have some street mutton? Might as well pack a few pounds and really rock Marlowe's socks off.
Anne pats him on the ass, winking. Bill winks back.
Who wants mutton?
Oh, me. I've never eaten mutton. I haven't eaten it at all.
The 2 follow Bill as he waddles off, but Susanna stays behind and she watches Anne smile disappear.
Mother?
Anne glances at Susanna. She grins at her, a vicious, 2-timing, backstabbing grin.
Come out now, Johnson.
Anne crosses her arms. Susanna sees someone walk up to her. Ben Johnson, finger steepled, smile on his face.
I bet you're surprised to see me, considering the poison. Let me say, I forgive you, and would love to have dinner with you again.
Anne looks at Johnson right in the eyes and smiles.
I have a better idea. Do you remember the play I gave you?
The one Bill wrote?
I want you to read it for Marlowe.
Susanna grabs Anne's wrists. Anne just glares at her daughter, and she backs off, terrified.
Go. Do it now, Johnson.
Johnson salutes Anne and heads into the tavern. Susanna looks up at her mother, shaking her head.
Why are you doing this?
Your father doesn't want to listen to reason, but Marlowe will listen to his words, no matter what.
Anne caresses Susanna's cheek.
Don't you understand, Susanna? This isn't about love. It's about war. If you truly love someone, you must be willing to do whatever you can to save them from destruction.
She pats it and walks into the tavern, following Johnson.
Understood, Mother. War it is.
Off Susanna's determined glare. The Mermaid Tavern, later. Bill walks in, midway through eating a mutton on a stick.
If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended.
Bill drops the mutton, shocked, and looks at the stage where Johnson is performing before Marlowe.
I know this. I wrote this.
He digs through his pockets, pulling out the paper Anne gave him. There's only one phrase in it. I did this for us. Aghast, he lowers the paper. Johnson finishes his speech.
Give me hands if we be friends, and Anne shall restore all amends.
Marlowe stands up and claps vigorously.
Johnson, that was incredible. You made me forget how much I hate you. Where did that come from?
Bill throws his paper aside and marches on stage, shoving a finger into Johnson's chest, who simply smiles at him.
He got it from me. I wrote it. And this little rat stole it from...
Why didn't you tell me you were great with words, Shakespeare? You must join my company at once.
Bill's jaw hits the floor, shocked.
Join your company?
As a writer, of course. Why, I could make you the most famous writer in all of England.
It would be an honor, sir.
Besides, it'd be a shame if I were to let such a talented piece of man meat walk out of my sight.
Marlowe pats Bill in the butt and turns to his assistant.
Tonight, we will party in the honor of our writer, William Shakespeare.
Johnson and the assistant applaud a shocked Bill. Mermaid Tavern, later that night. Anne sits on one corner of the tavern all by herself. A still shaken Bill silently sits behind her. She leans in.
Cheer up, darling. We won.
You won. I'm a writer now, Anne. A nothing. A footnote in history.
Anne motions to the bartender, who hands both of them a glass of ale. She lowers her voice so only Bill can hear.
The more Marlowe trusts you, the more power you'll get. Think, dear.
Bill contemplates it. She's got a point.
We're gonna need a lot of luck.
Who needs luck when you have me?
Anne reaches over to shake his hand. He swats it away.
Only if you never betray me again. Do you hear me, Anne? If there's one thing the Shakespeares are known for, it's holding grudges.
He holds out his hand. She shakes it. The two smile.
When there's a will, Hathaway.
Ugh, puns. Lowest type of humor. Now fart jokes.
Anne groans and walks away, heading out the tavern.
What? They're funny and short. Flatulence is the soul of wit.
Exterior, London streets, the next day. A messenger puts up a flyer with the headline, Upstart Crow joins Marlowe's company, over a drawing of Bill's face. Bill picks it up, jaw on the floor. He hands it to a similar shocked Anne. They both read it and cheer.
What's an upstart crow?
We're on the news.
Bill grabs Anne's waist and kisses her. She pushes him back, slaps him, and then kisses him again. The two of them hold each other in an embrace, the only couple in the crowded, huddled London streets. A first step to greatness. End of Act 3. Tag. London flat, day. The kids stand before a door leading to a second floor flat.
You think they'll like it?
Oh, I bet they will.
Bill and Anne walk up to them.
So, Susanna, what's the new house?
Mother, it's a wonderful flat on top of London's only orphanage, and our neighbor is a giant church.
The church bells ring. Bill and Anne groan which ding dong. Susanna grins, handing them the papers.
Welcome home, beloved parents.
Susanna, you're a genius.
Because of these neighbors, the price is so low. We'll be able to afford whatever we want to.
Like one of those newfangled toilets that don't hurt your butt. What will they think of next?
The two hug a confused Susanna. Judith joins in. Hamden moves to join,
Yay! We're a happy family.
but Anne holds him back, glaring at him.
Don't push your luck, Hamnet.
End of show. Yay. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and for watching this reading of Bill and Anne. And I want to thank this amazing cast. I've read this maybe 40, 50 times, and they found ways to make me laugh at these jokes, and they are really great. I want to give each of them a moment to just plug their own stuff. Let's start with you, Roxana, who's closest to me.
Sure. You can find me on Twitter at JarJarAnai and Instagram at RoxLovesPets.
Great. And now, our and sorry, it was really good. I'm just kind of shook by how good it was. Whitney, please share your stuff.
All right. So first off, my Twitter and Instagram is at Watchelsby. It's pretty easy, straightforward. I also do a monthly show on Twitch on the same channel called Chaotic Roll. I believe the next show is October 5th, whatever that first Tuesday is. And yeah, you'll probably see me around on Twitch doing whatever.
It's a fantastic show. It's a fantastic show. Next up, John, thank you so much. Please share your stuff.
You're very welcome. So on Twitter, I am Senior Excitement. On Instagram, I am the Mr. Excitement. And I'm also Mr. Excitement on YouTube.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Jonathan, again, now your turn, please. Share your
Thanks
stuff.
for having me. I'm on Twitter at Fohamner. Most of my stuff's on YouTube. I've been putting out a sketch at the blistering pace of once every 3 months.
That's amazing. I put a sketch once every 3 years. So, and finally, our Bill, Ronnie, please plug your stuff.
Hi, I don't have much to plug. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Ronnie Pascal. Other than that, I do nothing.
Well, you did a great reading. And I'll be the last one. And all I have to plug is, if you want, you can follow me at Michel Lichand on Twitter. It's right here underneath. I have two podcasts. One of them is Full Metal Analyst, where I talk about the anime Full Metal Alchemist. And the other is Potter Who Cast, where I talk the TV show Doctor Who. And occasionally we talk about Shakespeare on that one. So you can find a lot about me there. Please visit packtheater.com to learn more about this wonderful, wonderful theater. You can take classes. You can donate out of Venmo, which is at pack/theater. But other than that, that'll be all for now. Thank you so much for being here. We're Pilot Dump. Dark Matters is coming up next. And other than that, we'll be off. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
Bye.